Hello. Yes, I am late, and I do apologize for that. Just lollygagged too much in the shower. Uh, Texas Tech had the first drive after doing the kick return thing, but they were forced to punt, so now Arizona State has the ball, and Sam Levitt's trying to drive them downfield. Mateer, the tight end, got the first down for the offense, and now it's third down. Texas Tech's defense is down a man on the D line due to a season-ending injury, so we'll have to keep an eye on that issue. Levitt threw a pass. Unfortunately, it was knocked down by the said defensive line and fell incomplete, so it looks like, well, you never know these days. You'd think that they'd punt because they're only at midfield, but if Kenny Dillingham feels confident in his defense, they're going to go for it. But it does look like they're actually going to punt. So, yep, that appears to be the case, and there it goes. Aiken called the fair catch for the Red Raiders within the 10-yard line, so very good punt. And I get to see outgoing photos of my former home state. All desert. And I still have not yet completely measured the glare from the windows this sunny afternoon. Ugh. So I gotta take care of that. Interferes with the screen based on the angle I'm watching it on, because this is the only computer that can allow me to stream the game without issues. So while I'm continuing to get ready, can try and take a look and see how the rest of the Big 12's going on. Let's see. Baylor and TCU are in the fourth quarter, and the Horned Frogs are up 35-21 in Fort Worth. In terms of the standings, first I'm relying on MSN, and that's apparently a big mistake because they're showing it from last year. Never mind. Okay, so apparently the game here in Tempe is a sellout. Lower bowl definitely looks pretty full. Got a different broadcasting crew on Fox than the previous two games. I'm not terribly familiar with them. Doesn't help that I started late. But from the 8, they run the ball, do the Red Raiders, and they get a first down. Will Hammond is the quarterback for the Red Raiders, and he just got sacked. Dorba, number 32, with the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Williams is number 20 for the Red Raiders. The sack was for 4 yards, so it's 2nd and 14. Ball's at the Red Raiders 23. Hammond now doing the quarterback draw and gets only 2. So far, so good for Sun Devils D. Vanderbilt beat LSU. Impressive. Okay, 3rd and 12. On the 25. Hammond back to pass. Tries to do the running back screen, but it does not get a first down. Williams was the receiver, tackled by Jordan Crook, number 8. It's 4th and 4, so the Red Raiders are going to punt it again. Let's see. As I see the top 25 scores, Ohio State's out big already over Wisconsin. They look ready to defend the national championship. And we got a return that's making good yardage. Sample, number 17, returned it to midfield. So, great start for the Devils already. And most of the games in the scoreboard for the top 25 have just begun. Another surprise in the top 25, at least in terms of recent history, Georgia Tech beat Duke. They're still undefeated. Oklahoma beat South Carolina in the SEC. So most of the games have yet to truly begin. Central Florida is pounding West Virginia as we speak, trying to get back into the over 500 column. Apparently, earlier in the week, Houston beat Arizona. Yes. 6-1 in the conference now, 3-1 overall. Other games later today. Utah's at BYU, in-state rivalry, and then Cincinnati is at Oklahoma State. And the BYU's ranked 15th, Utah's 23rd. So that, for the moment, will be the barometer as to who ends up leading the conference. Cincinnati itself is 24. They're a contender as well. I'm going to put the game cast on so it makes it easier for me to tell who's who. Probably is going to be a little behind the broadcast, but at this point, I could care less. Let's see. Where did I put the damn remote? Joey McGuire is the head coach of the Red Raiders. We have a run by the Devils. Our Brown. I just had it. Oh, it dropped. No wonder. Ugh. All right. Levitt's under the gun. Empty backfield set. Levitt's now back to pass, and now he's in trouble, and he's been sacked as well. So each team has a sack now. Number 21, Bailey, the one to get it. So it'll be 3rd and 9. Actually, 3rd and 13. It was 2nd and 9. Levitt back to pass again. Again, he's in trouble. Again, he's sacked. Bailey gets a 2nd sack in a row. 2 plays in a row. He got double teamed and still went through. Punt's underway. Oh, that was terrible, but it took a Sun Devil bounce, and then it may have hit a Red Raider player, but it went out of bounds at the 22. Ugh. So, scoreless, and we're halfway through the first quarter still. Periodically come back to this website. Naturally, we're on commercial break. Eli Manning and Danny DeVito teaming up on a Jersey Mike's ad. Trying to become the latest version of Twins, if you remember that movie. Oh, yes. I still have my protest shirt up. Going to be my way of perpetually responding to the No Kings rally. And hello, who's ever joined me. Feel free to chat me up if you want. Take off your jacket and stay a while. It's getting colder every day. Although, if I look at the weather, at least locally here, it's probably in the 60s. As I live in the Portland, Oregon area. 59. But it's definitely going to rain later. And we're back to the action. And we've got a pass out to the wide receiver that was incomplete. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. I got a different finger up. Let's see if I can't get a little closer. You have a running play for Cameron Dickey, who apparently ran all over Kansas last week. Got up roughly 300 yards. It's now 3rd and 7. We're now under 7 minutes. Hammond's in shotgun. One back to his left. Now he's back to pass. And a nice tackle on the receiver by both Crook and Abney. Another forced punt upcoming for the Red Raiders. Didn't even make it to the 30. So far, so in terms of offense. Punt is away. And it's a fair catch. Done by 87. Now under 6 minutes left. That was Sample. Gotta make sure I get my players straight for a change. Another action currently going on. Indiana leads Michigan State in the second quarter. Georgia's doing the same against Mississippi. And the Memphis University of Alabama Birmingham game is tied at 7 in the first. It's currently 80 degrees in Tempe. Earlier, I saw Sam Levitt under a cooling tent. Yeah, it's like that. So the Red Raiders, along with BYU and Cincinnati, are still the only undefeated teams in the conference. The Raiders and the Cougars are also undefeated overall. We'll get a better picture of who will be truly in contention for the championship once December rolls around. We're still on commercial break. And here we are. Got tailgating under solar panels. Definitely an Arizona scene. The Sun Devils have won their last 9 games at home. Much encouraging sign. Ball's now at the 21. Levitt hands it off to R. Brown. And he's tackled for a loss. A.J. Holmes, number 33, on the tackle for the Red Raiders. And Bailey was right there in the backfield. So the O-line has its work cut out for it, despite the Raiders missing one of their top D linemen. We have a straight handoff, this time to that was to R. Brown again. He gets a first down. Did the end run to the right. And this time the blocking was a lot better. And Brown was able to outrun the defense until he was forced out at the 32. Under 5 to go in the quarter. Levitt's in the gun, hands it off to R. Brown again. Only gets about 2 yards this time around. K. Brown apparently got hurt in the Utah game, so R. Brown is going to carry the load, and he tried to be the subject of a pass, but it was incomplete. Just thrown out a bit out of his reach. So it'll be 3rd and 8. And Levitt back to pass. And he tries to bomb it. He's got a man wide open. Oh, I almost broke it. Shoestring tackle by the defense. Number 16, Witten, found himself wide open. Oh, Tillman. Sorry. He got hit as he threw. It looked pretty dicey from that point. But he saw the man open and got it to him. So it got to the Red Raiders 17. And now we have beep by the officials. Looks like a false start is the preliminary indication. Yep. Number 53 is the guilty party. And that was literally a shoestring tackle. So we got a run going on now after the penalty, but a yard was lost. Rodriguez was the one on the tackle, number 10 for the Red Raiders. Atkins is number 53 for the Devils, by the way. And that was Brown on the carry. Levitt now back to pass. Under pressure, and it's tipped at the line and incomplete. Rodriguez, the one who was rushing through unopposed. And he got his hands up right quick. Levitt back to pass again. It's going to be a screen to the running back. Brown only got to the 17, so it looks like field goal time. Now, the way the stadium's situated, it's north to south. And the south end of the end zone is where they're going to. So that's the direction the sun is in. Although he kicks left-footed, so it might not be as much an issue staring at the sun. 34-yard attempt. And the kick is good. That was, of course, Gomez, number 35, kicking the field goal. Mississippi's taking the lead on Georgia. Try keep an eye on the league scores in addition to what's going on there in Tempe. Oh, quick kickoff. Goes into the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. 1:43 left in the first quarter, that is. Hammond's in the gun. Man's in motion. Ball's at the 25. He passes it. Gets it away to Douglas, number 5, but he only gets about 3. Crook, number 8, on the tackle yet again. Clock is winding down. 2nd and 7. Hammond doing another quarterback draw, and again, it's a short gain. Got to the 30, so it's 3rd and 5. Hammond back to pass real quickly. Able to get off, but it's incomplete. It was thrown out of bounds. So Texas Tech's been shut out still. Odd formation for a punt. Oh, it's blocked! So that was interesting. All the linemen were at the center of the field, but the punter was off to the left. There was a center and a blocker, neither of whom did their job too well in allowing 13 to get a hand on it. Petrie, number 13, the one on special teams for the Devils. And the ball just barely crossed midfield. But it did take a nice Red Raider bounce, so it's at the 38. Levitt's back to pass, and he's going to bomb it again. And there are flags all over the secondary. Number 16, Tillman, was the intended receiver, and I suspect pass interference. And it was definitely a hold by number 7 of the Red Raiders. And luckily for him, it's only a 15-yard penalty. Stops the clock with 23 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Ball's been placed to 47. Empty backfield, and now Brown's in motion. Levitt back to pass. Oh! Almost intercepted. It was bobbled by Tyson, but he was able to pull it back in. Oh! Heart attack time. And Tyson managed to pull it back in before number 27 of the Red Raiders could pick it off in himself. Ay, 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 ay. Well, no change in the top 25 scoring. The TC Baylor game has been delayed, I suspect due to weather. Doesn't specify in the game cast, though. So apparently, it's lightning that's the issue, and this is actually the second delay. Up, make it the third. So, it's a rare thing to happen in Arizona. At least It's in the desert. We're still on commercial break, though. And they're doing this interruption of the head coach's flow by interviewing him on the sidelines. Something I'm not a fan of. Okay, back to the action. Lubbock does receiver handoff to Tyson, but again, it's a loss of yardage. Bailey again on the tackle in for the Raiders, number 31. So they got a bunch of people in motion on this 2nd down 11. Now we have an empty backfield with Levitt and Moat in the gun. And we had a quick pass out to number 12, but it was not caught and incomplete. Was thrown away from his body. And that was McClain, the intended receiver. Levitt back to pass again. Oh! Double covered and almost intercepted. Tyson was the intended receiver. He was open briefly, but the safety came across. Number 5. Was Neski. Gomez will attempt another field goal. This will be a 47-yarder. Ooh, nice. It's again good. So it's a 6-0 lead for the Sun Devils. Not sure who the Texas Tech coach is. Let's find out, shall we? Joey McGuire. So Baron Morton was the starting quarterback for the season for the Red Raiders, but he's been injured repeatedly. Hammond's actually his backup. So that's another problem for the Red Raiders. Gomez ready to kick it off soon. And again, in college, they still do kickoffs the normal way with all 10 men behind the ball. And this time it's going to be a return. Ball's at the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30, and number 20 of the Devils brings him down. So a decent return for Texas Tech. So up until this game, the Red Raiders were the only team in the entire Division 1A to not trail this season. That's pretty impressive. That's why they're ranked so high. So Hammond hands it off to his running back, Dickey, but he's tackled by number 6. Who's got apparently a hoodie covering his name. That was Williams on the carry. Williams is actually the one who returned the ball. Right now we got a pass going on, and for once, the Raiders got a first down. Eakin, number 3, was the one who caught it. And it looks like we're doing no huddle. Quick handoff that gets about 3, Dickey, the running back. And one of the Red Raiders is limping off to the sideline. So it's 2nd and 7. Ball's at the Red Raider 46. And again, we're going to have a quarterback draw, and Hammond got upended. Wilson is number 6, as it turns out. Finally able to see his name away from the hoodie. And Hammond got upended, seriously. Tried to break it outside. Oh. Almost went perpendicular to the field on his head. So 3rd and 7 now. And the Red Raiders have yet to convert a 3rd down. Hammond gets the pass off, and he is able to complete it to number 1, Virgil. Another no-huddle situation. And now we got a bunch of whistling going on. Sun Devils call a timeout. A bit on their heels at the moment. I don't know if the Sun Devils had the right personnel on. It was the second time on this drive they went no huddle. Georgia's retaken the lead against Mississippi. Indiana's extended its lead against Michigan State. It's almost halftime in that game. And their head coach apparently signed an 8-year deal for $93 million. Yeah, it's paying to be a college coach these days. Ask James Franklin. He got bought out essentially of his contract for $49 million. That's what happens when you are expected to challenge for the national championship and lose 3 in a row. They're doing a $700 million renovation of Beaver Stadium in College Station, PA. Nittany Lions certainly have their priorities in order. Oh, Mississippi just took the lead back. And there's a little over 2 minutes left in their first half. We're at commercial break in this game at the moment. One of these days I'm going to get an overlay for when I do these streams. So in baseball, if you're a fan of that, I'm sure you're aware of what happened in the championship series. The Dodgers swept the Brewers on Shohei Ohtani's masterclass of both pitching and hitting effort. Hasn't been anyone to do that consistently since Babe Ruth, and the last person in the playoffs since Rick Wise of the Phillies to both hit multiple home runs and pitch a shutout. Hammond just went on a run, got only 4. At 44, the Devils got the tackle. Dickey, number 8, got tackled by Arizona State's number 8, Crook. Elliott, number 44, was in on the previous tackle. Devils trying to stiffen up their resistance. Ball's at the 36. Empty backfield for the Red Raiders. Hammond back to pass. He's rolling out. And it's again incomplete. Tight coverage on that one. Wilson was shadowing the receiver something fierce. And although the receiver was able to get his mitts on, he couldn't bring it in. And Wilson's somewhat fortunate to not get pass interference, I think. And they're actually going to go for it on 4th. They're 3 of 5 this season on 4th down conversions. Hammond's back to pass. And it's incomplete. Thrown behind his receiver. It would have been a long field goal attempt. So apparently, as of yesterday, there were only 10 undefeated teams left in 1A. One went down on Friday. And that was Miami. Minnesota also upset Nebraska, who was ranked 25 at the time. And hooray for Vanderbilt. They're really a threat to actually win the SEC themselves. 6-1 overall, 2-1 in the conference. And besides Utah and BYU, there are several other games with two top 25 teams playing each other. USC's at Notre Dame. Tennessee's at Alabama. Now, the other undefeated teams as of today, besides the Red Raiders, are Ohio State, Indiana, Ole Miss, Memphis, Texas A&M. As I had mentioned, BYU as well. And looking at the rankings, make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope, that's it. I wonder which parking lot that is that they're doing the tailgating with the panels covering everything. I've been living in Oregon for about, it'll be as of November, 8 years. There are quite a few parking lots still in existence on campus, the main campus in Tempe. I imagine it's got to be one just south of Mill Avenue or University Drive. We got another handoff. That didn't get much. Raleek Brown again with the carry attempt. Ball for number 20 for Texas Tech made the tackle. Levitt back to pass now. Able to get it off. Harpole was the receiver who caught it, number 9, but he just fell just short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2. And we're under 10 minutes in the half now. Big lineman out there. Levitt's under center for a change. And they try to do the end around again with the receiver, but again it stopped. Wisniewski tackled Tyson, who only got a yard. Oh, no, wait, that was Hamilton. Oh, now the Sun Devils turned apparently to go for it on 4th. And Levitt did the quarterback sneak attempt, but apparently the whistles blew just before he snapped it. And Texas Tech was able to get the timeout into the refs in time. So now it's decision time for Dillingham, Coach Dillingham. $8:23 left in the half. ESPN's win probability had the Red Raiders pretty predominantly, and now it's almost even Steven. So, obviously not taking into account the Sun Devils' undefeated home record as of late. Levitt's going to pass this time, and he's going to air it out. And he overthrew his receiver. Players and coaches for the Devils are irate that there was no pass interference called. It was intended for Tyson. And again, he was grabbed. But this time, the refs did not bring out the laundry. And Dillingham's still hot over on the sideline. The argument might be it was overthrown more than usual. So the Texas Tech has ball in the Devils' territory. Dickey got about 2.5 yards on that run. Crook again on the tackle. So 2 straight attempts of going for it on 4th that didn't work out. And we have another run attempt that again only gets a few yards. Dickey again doing the run. And now there's a Sun Devil down on the field for the defense. And he's thrashing about with his legs. Can't tell who it is at this point. So we'll have a timeout, it looks like, officially on the network side. And I'm going to step aside for a little bit. Okay, I've remembered to take off the mute button. One small step for this man. Okay. UAB is taking the lead over Memphis in that game. When play resumes, it'll be 3rd and 4 as they show the Red Rocks of Northern Arizona. O'Neal, number 9, as it turns out, was the injured player, but he's up on his own feet again. And Hammond tries to do yet another. Oh, wait a second. That's a wildcat run by Dickey. And he was able to get a couple of yards, but he did not get the first down. And let's see if they go for it yet again. And it looks like they're in the process of trying to do so. Hammond's back in there in the pistol formation. Hammond hands it off, and Dickey's able to get the first down. So third time's the charm for both teams. Was a 6-yard gain. Ball's at the Sun Devil 30 now. Hammond fakes the handoff, is back to pass, got plenty of time, sends it out. It's a touchdown. Aiken, however you pronounce it. So the Sun Devils paid for trying to go for it on 4th. And I'm not sure about whether he held that. It plays under review. And unfortunately, in one of those replay angles, the ref was in the way, the side judge. And the usual wonder is there enough evidence to overturn the call? And they're, of course, this being college, taking their very sweet time and figuring this out. Ruling on the field stands. Mike Pereira doing double duty on doing replay assistance for college and pros. So it's tied 6-6. They're going to kick the extra point. And it's good. Harrington, number 40, with the extra point. Okay, I get the feeling this is going to be another close one. And apparently the Indiana-Michigan State's game delayed as well on account of weather. Georgia's gotten a field goal that cut the Mississippi Rebel lead to 1. Yep, Lightning's the culprit there too. And it's Indiana's homecoming game. Texas A&M and Arkansas had that problem as well, it looks like. No problems like that in sunny Arizona. And while I was checking out the weather reports of other games, I apparently missed Raleek Brown get a significant run. I'm guessing it was a touchback in terms of the kickoff. 2nd and 4, Levitt's back to pass. He gets it away and gets it completed to Tyson, who's tackled out of bounds. And he got to about the 39. Levitt fakes the handoff, and now he's going to run for it, and he's only going to get 2. Hunter in on the tackle for the Raiders. Hunter's number 2. And there's a look at Hines Ward again, the receivers coach for the Devils. And pass is completed to Tyson yet again. And he's slow getting up, Tyson. And now he's back down on one knee. 4:04 left in the half. And now Tyson's trying to run it off. Although he looks like he's grimacing a bit. So, ball's at the 47.5. Empty backfield. Levitt's going to do the quarterback sneak, and he gets it easily. Getting across the 50. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's number 2. So another Wildcat formation. Number 2. Was the one with the run. So that was apparently the backup quarterback. Levitt, in the meantime, is back to pass. He's got a man open. That's Hamilton at the 4. Let's see if it counts. There's a flag on the play. Oh, they're taking it back. Another heave by Levitt as he was under pressure from. He was tackled by Jordan, number 7. All right. Time to prepare the finger. First and goal. Hand off to Brown, I believe. He gets a couple of yards, but he's declared down at the 2. That was a mass of bodies the defense threw at him. Clock continues to tick downward. ASU quickly on the line, and then we got a bunch of whistles and one of Jade's headbands I can see as Levitt shakes his head. Snap infraction. Number 71, the guilty party. Up. Only brought up the snap halfway. So it's second and goal at the 7 now. Levitt is now going under center again. And I keep forgetting that college football now has a 2-minute warning. I'm trying to remember if you can see my Sun Devil football. Apparently you can't. Oh yeah, that's because I moved the table over. Trying to get my new chair closer to the screen for when I watch stuff. Okay. Not exactly ideal. But at least it's in view. So getting close to halftime, and UAB's up 17-14 over Memphis. And actions going back. Actions come back in Fort Worth, and TCU's pad their lead by adding a touchdown. Oh man, that is a lot of solar panels on that northeast end of the stadium. Okay, action is back. Levitt back to pass. Lofts it up, and it's incomplete. So it'll be 3rd and goal. Okay, Levitt has it back to his left. In the gun. Back to pass. Gets it out to his running back. And a great open field tackle by number 6, Curry. Malik Bound had no chance. If he had got away from Curry, there were a bunch of other Red Raiders ready to meet him. So it'll be a 3rd attempt for Gomez. The Red Raiders call a timeout to try and ice him, and also to get more time for their offense on the final drive. So it's going to be a 26-yard attempt. Kick is up, and it is good. So the Sun Devils have the lead back. 1:44 left in the half. So apparently on that long gain by Hamilton, a penalty was missed by the refs. Should have been offside on the guy who eventually caught it. Gomez kicks it off. And they're going to take it out of the end zone. Didn't get far. Okay, let's see what Texas Tech can do. Oh, Hammond got a nice run doing the quarterback sneak. Big hole for him, although the Sun Devils eventually closed the gap. He got 5. And the clock continues to run. The Raiders only have 1 timeout left. Hamilton back to pass. He gets it to a receiver who's tackled out of bounds, and that will stop the clock. Virgil, number 5, was the one with the catch. Number 12 for the Devils made the stop. So it's 3rd and 1. So even though the time has been stopped, they're going to go no huddle. And another design quarterback draw, and he gets the first down. That'll stop the clock in college for a little bit. But now we have a defensive injury for the Devils, so the clock stays stopped. I think it's the same guy that got hurt before, number 9. Again, his legs are writhing. Oh, it's actually Dorba, number 32. Throwing the ball around on the college football studio. I don't know what the heck's going on, but looks like Dorba's in a lot of pain. And it'll be a TV timeout as a result. So the Texas A&M Arkansas game has started in earnest. The game start itself was delayed by lightning. And the Razorbacks have the ball. For what it's worth, I committed to another online event at 3. I'm probably going to go ahead and stop the stream once halftime comes around. And Dorba's being escorted to the sideline. He's on his feet, but he's got an assistant under his left arm trying to make sure he gets to the sideline okay. So they restarted the clock. Hammond's now back to pass. Gets it off to the sideline. And I don't know why Dickey went out of bounds the way he did, but he ended up losing yardage. Okay. Well, back to pass again. Gets it off to Aiken. But he can't get out of bounds. And it's 3rd down now. Under a minute. Not good clock management at this point by Texas Tech. Hammond back to pass. He's hit as he throws, and the ball's incomplete. Crook was the man getting pressure on Hammond. And it's 4th and 5. His hand actually got hit by Crook. So punter number 41 for the Red Raiders will send it off. So the Devils might get a chance to score at the end of this half. And it's returned, but nice tackle in the open field by the special teams number 3, Ramirez. Arizona State's not the only team with multiple players that have multiple numbers. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to get another score. Okay, so the ball's at their own 19. It's 33 seconds left, and Levitt's going to back to pass. And he throws it out of the reach of Brown. So they're trying in earnest to go down the field, but that wasn't going to get much anyway. And Levitt's like, that was a horrible pass. So now they're going to hand it off to Brown. He only gets a yard. And it looks like they're going to run out the clock. So, my Sun Devils are in the lead. And that's where I'll leave it. Levitt's pretty happy for the moment. So if it wasn't for that botched 4th down attempt, Sun Devils would be shutting out the Red Raiders. So thank you for those who witnessed as they go over halftime highlights in the studio. Hopefully next time I can go ahead and stream a full one of these. So, bye-bye. Bye, Bonds.